Realised is, yeah, as always, people and process holds you up in getting to cloud smart, but actually there's technology that stands in the way too. And so, to understand how you can get to cloud smart, you have to understand how we ended up in cloud chaos.
That's correct. But when you use an individual cloud, you have services from that cloud to be able to do development, build, infrastructure, security, management, etc. But when you use more than one cloud, then you have multiple services across all of these clouds that are siloed to that technology, that are siloed to those users. And so your organization has multiple teams doing the same thing with different tools. And this is where we get to that cloud chaos, right?
So you end up in this world of cloud chaos. And it's quite easy when you look at the description you just had to say, well, why are you in multiple clouds in the first place? Why don't you just stick with one cloud? Well, the answer is, it's not that simple. It's highly unlikely that one public cloud is going to have everything you need for your business today. It's definitely not going to have everything you need for what's going to come in the future. At the same time, you may have different BUs going out, going and doing different things in different clouds for you anyway. You might have sovereignty requirements that mean you have different sovereign cloud requirements in different places you operate. Or you might be trying to build some really cool best-of-breed app using best-of-breed features from different clouds. The bottom line is, actually, it's a reality that you're going to be using multiple clouds. Now, using multiple clouds is an architectural issue. You need some form of simplifying how you do architecture across all of those clouds. And that's why we need to move away from using these single siloed cloud service components to what we call cross-cloud services.
The cross-cloud services, you want to take those infrastructure services or build tools or security tools and move them up into a control or management plane so you have those same capabilities across multiple clouds, including private and edge.
And so that's how we end up with our VMware cross-cloud services. And at VMware, we've done this since day one. We simplify and we make it easy for our customers to have choice. We did that with the hypervisor. Now we're doing it with cross-cloud services to make it simple for you to access any cloud service you like and have as much choice as you could ever possibly have in using public cloud. And then we have powerful capabilities spanning across the whole life cycle of our application as we help you do that. So, Raghu mentioned these three key strategies. And so we're now very quickly going to take you through those three key strategies and how we can help you in those. So let's start with the first one of those. How do we take from a disparate dev, ops and security world across multiple different clouds to one accelerated app development process?
When we're developing modern applications, we want to make sure that we have a secure software supply chain. We want to make sure that our cloud operations teams put the right management, governance, and guardrails in place. And of course, we want to give our developers an excellent experience. So our cross-cloud service, App Platform Services, with Tanzu for Kubernetes operations, gives us the ability to create, manage, and secure Kubernetes clusters and container-based workloads. Also, we have Tanzu application platforms, so developers can do what they love to do, write code and see it run in production. And so we have that path to production with full automation and that secure software supply chain.
And of course, underpinning that, we've got management services that bring automation, governance, and all the other things you'd expect, including cost control, into one place that spans multiple clouds. And that's VMware Aria.
So we've covered 2 of our 5 cross-cloud services. What should we address next?
Okay, so if we keep looking down this list of how we're going to go through these strategies, the second one we're going to dive into is how do we get from the siloed cloud infrastructure that we have with different operations in different clouds to a consistent enterprise infrastructure across all of those clouds.
We want to make sure that we can run applications and have the performance necessary to do so. Sometimes we want to extend their data center or do a full cloud migration. And we want to be able to prevent and recover from disasters like ransomware. And so VMware's cross-cloud infrastructure services, with VMware Cloud that can run in public cloud, private cloud, and at the edge for your enterprise workloads, your traditional and your modern applications.
And of course, underpinning all that, we've got network and security services with VMware NSX and VMware Carbon Black that span multiple clouds too. And also Project North Star that you're going to hear a little bit more detail about later on to make sure you've got all of those services wherever you need them. So how are we doing so far?
4 out of 5. One more to go.
We've got 1 left. So if we look at these strategies, the third one we're going to look at is probably the most important one actually. We're not in IT to go and build stuff in data centers. No one comes and looks at the data center and goes, well done, right? What you're here to do is to put apps and data in people's hands. That's what IT is all about. So people have what they need to do their jobs when they need it. And at the moment, if we start building these things across multiple different clouds, it just gets more confusing for them as to how they access all the bits you're building for them. So how do we make that frictionless for them?
So like you said, the most important thing is that user experience. We all want to be able to access our applications and data from any device anywhere around the globe. And we want to make sure there isn't fragmented security when this is implemented. So we don't have different security for different devices or applications. And that will reduce that operational complexity because those teams have a lot of work to do. To be able to solve for that, our cross-cloud anywhere workspace services with solutions like Workspace ONE and Horizon give you that access to access those applications and data. But hey, Joe, spoiler alert.
Cool.
The Secure Access Service Edge, built on our SD-WAN platform, generally you need a physical or virtual appliance running on the ESX. Me too. But soon we'll have that in software.
So I can run that on my laptop in my hotel room.
In your hotel room, around the globe, at home. So that way you can have that same security and performance wherever you go.
Yeah, that's something I'm going to get on the access for when I get off the stage, definitely.
Absolutely.
So, how are we doing now?
5 to 5. So now we know how to build and run our applications all the way to how to access them securely wherever you go.
And that really lays out how all these cloud smart services come together. Across everything that we're doing, right from the bottom to the top of the stack, no matter whatever you're trying to do across any cloud, this is how you architect cloud smart. And this is really how we help you get to deal building cloud-native apps and enterprise apps wherever you like. But look, we've very quickly gone through these for you to give you an idea of how these map onto our cross-cloud services. But next up, we want to take deep dives into each of these 3 areas to help you get a little bit more detail about what we're announcing today and some of the cool features that we can bring to you in the future. And so to do that, we're going to start with accelerated app development.